AI is incredible. It can teach you how to fry an egg and even write a poem, pirate style. Yarr! But it knows nothing about your work. Slackbot is different. It doesn't just know the facts. It knows your schedule. It can turn a brainstorm into a brief. And it doesn't need to be taught. Because Slackbot isn't just another AI. It's AI that knows your work as well as you do. Visit slack.com/meet Slackbot to learn more.
Hey, Justin.
Yeah, man. What's up?
Do you ever use freelancers?
I have. Indeed, I have. And I am.
How'd that go?
It went well every time I've done it. And then I've never taken on the practice consistently. And I couldn't really give you a good reason why, but it's something that if I'm going to evolve and grow my business, it's something that I'm going to need to employ on a regular basis.
Yeah. I've used some freelancers from different platforms, and sometimes I've gotten good results. Other times, not so good. But imagine, if you will, there was a way that you can have your freelancers vetted, not just with reviews, but actually vetted by a real person.
Be pretty damn useful.
Tell me more, you would say, right?
Full, yes.
Right.
Yeah.
Right? Well, guess what?
What?
Our next guest has invented a platform that does just that. Would you like to learn more?
I'd love it.
All right. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm Andros Sturgeon.
And I am Justin Womack.
And we are the Marketing Geeks.
Marketing Geeks.
Are your ad campaigns lighting up the dashboard, but not the pipeline? That's bull spend. And marketers are calling it out in Dashboard Confessions.
My boss asked for results, so I opened my dashboard for the only positive-sounding metric I had: impressions.
Cut the bull spend. See revenue, not just reach. LinkedIn delivers the highest return on ad spend of major ad networks. Advertise on LinkedIn. Spend $250 on your first campaign and get a $250 credit. Go to linkedin.com/campaign. Terms and conditions apply.
Tomorrow morning is knocking. Stock your fridge now. How about a creamy mocha frappuccino drink? Or a sweet vanilla? Smooth caramel, maybe? Or a white chocolate mocha? Whichever you choose, delicious coffee awaits. Find Starbucks Frappuccino drinks wherever you buy your groceries.
All right. Well, welcome to the show, everybody. And today we have a very special guest. Nathan Hirsch is a CEO and founder of FreeUp.com. That's a great domain. That is a fantastic domain. And he's here. And ladies and gentlemen, Nathan Hirsch. Yeah.
Thanks for having me, guys.
Yeah, man. Thanks for being on the Marketing Geeks. And first of all, for our listeners who don't know about FreeUp, can you give us a little bit about like what it is and what it provides people?
Yeah, we're on Marketplace for pre-vetted virtual assistants, freelancers, and agencies. So we get thousands of applicants every week, vet them, top 1% get on. We make them available to people quickly whenever they need them without having to browse. And then on the back end, 24/7 support in case they have even the smallest issue, and a no turnover guarantee. If they quit for any reason, we cover replacement costs and get them a new person right away. So that's really what we're all about, the pre-vetting, speed, customer service, and protection.
That's pretty cool. Can you go into, I want to hear your story, but before we do that, can you go into like how you pre-vet the freelancers? And so how do you qualify somebody as a top 1%er in the freelance community?
Yeah. So for years, and I'm sure you guys have made this mistake too, I used to hire people just for skill. I'd look at their 5-star reviews, maybe some references and maybe a portfolio. And 3 months later it would blow up in my face. And I'd sit there wondering, like, how is this person who's so talented such a bad fit, such a bad hire? And we realized that skill is just one part of the equation. Attitude and communication are the other two factors. So for skill, we put them through skill tests. We don't need everyone to be a 10 out of 10. You can be a 5 out of 10, a 3 out of 10. What we care about is that you're honest about what you can and cannot do, and that you're priced accordingly. For attitude, we do one-on-one interviews. We look for people who are passionate about what they do. They're not just in it for the payments. If they're a bookkeeper, and I'm sure you guys hate bookkeepers, they need to, or hate bookkeeping.
Yeah.
I have nothing against bookkeepers.
But I definitely hate bookkeeping.
Man, there is this one bookkeeper. If I ever see him, I'm going to kick him in the nuts. I tell you.
But they have to love bookkeeping as much as we love being entrepreneurs. And then communication is everything. I mean, we have 15 pages of communication best practices that they have to memorize and get tested on before they get in. And we're pretty quick to remove people from our platform if they don't communicate, if they have a bad attitude, or if they're taking on projects they can't do at a high level.
Wow.
Do you find that most, if somebody comes on to FreeUp and let's say they hire a freelancer, do you find that most of them are able to kind of figure out like a client's gig right away, or is there does there tend to be a training period that gets involved if for certain projects because of the way that the community is set up? Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does. I mean, I like to divide hires into 3 different levels. So you got the followers, you got the doers, and you got the experts. So the followers, $5 to $10 an hour, non-US, they're there to follow your systems, your processes. If you don't know how to find profitable products on Amazon, you can't hire someone for $5 an hour and say, hey, go find me profitable products. You need direction and systems. And the mid-level people, they're like graphic designers, bookkeepers, writers. You're not teaching a graphic designer how to be a graphic designer like you would a VA, but they're not consulting with you either. They're there to do those projects. And then you got the experts, the high level people, the Facebook ads, the freelancers, consultants, agencies that are kind of bringing their own systems, their own processes, their own expertise to the table. So how you handle each level is different. The followers, you need more SOPs onboarding. The doers, you need more of a scope, getting on the same page with the product. And then the experts, they usually audit your business. They give you a game plan or multiple game plans for you to tweak and improve. And it's more of a collaboration.
Yeah. That's pretty good because, I've been, man, you're right. There's been a few times that like I go on to Fiverr and I'm just like, oh, this guy's got a ton of good reviews. I get a project back and I'm like, oh, I can't work this at all. It's terrible. First of all, I want to find out like what got you into doing this specific platform and how long have you been doing it?
Yeah, so this is the end of year 4. If we want to go all the way back, my parents were both teachers growing up. And so I kind of grew up with the mentality that I was going to go to college, get a real job, work for 30 years, retired. They're retired now. They're traveling the world. They're killing it. There's nothing wrong with that. But they always made me get these summer jobs, internships. I worked at Aaron's, Firestone, umpiring, Chez Joseph, which is a catering place. And I was working 40, 50 hours a week from when I was 15 up. So I learned a lot about customer service and sales and business. And I also learned how much I just hated working for other people. And I knew that I was going to be miserable if that was what I was going to do for 30 years. So when I got to college, I kind of looked at it as a ticking clock. I had 4 years to start my own business, or I was going to go into the real world and never look back. So I got really pissed off one day in college that the school bookstore was ripping me off. They were giving us pennies on the dollar of people trying to sell back hundreds of dollars worth of books. And I said, you know what, I can do this better. I took that summer money, all the stuff I had saved up, and I started a textbook business. I would buy people's businesses. I would sell them online to different distributors. And one day I came across Amazon.com. So I'm selling a lot of books on Amazon. I create a referral program. I have lines out the door of people trying to sell me their books to the point where I get a cease and desist letter from my college telling me to knock it off because I was competing too hard with their bookstore.
Can they do that? Is that actually a violation though?
I mean, they're a private business, right? They can do whatever they want. And my parents are teachers, so I didn't want to get kicked out of college. That would not have gone over well. So I pivot. And I think it's so cool. I can have this 24/7 storefront. It runs all the time. I get to practice my customer service skills. Money goes into my bank account. I mean, this is 2008. No one knows what Amazon is. There's no courses. There's no gurus. There's no software. And so I just started experimenting. I try to find something I can sell besides books. So I try typical college guy stuff like sporting equipment, video games, computers, stuff I'm very familiar with. And I just fail over and over and over. The only thing I can get to sell is these books. So it's not until I branch out of my comfort zone. And one day I found a deal on this baby product online and I ventured into the baby product industry. So there I am as this business scaled. I had a lot of success there. And if you can imagine me as a 20-year-old single college guy selling $1 million a year on Amazon, that was me. And it was a pretty crazy time. I'm making money for the first time in my life. So my parents tell me I should probably pay taxes, right? So Probably. So I meet with an accountant and the first question he asked me is, when are you going to hire your first person? And I kind of shrugged him off. Like, why would I do that? That's money out of my pocket. They're going to steal my ideas. They're going to hurt my business. They're not going to do as good job as me. Pretty standard entrepreneurial excuses. And he just laughed in my face and he said, "You're going to learn this lesson on your own." Well, sure enough, my first busy season comes around, the fourth quarter. I'm not prepared. I'm doing everything myself, answering every email, sending every order, changing every price, updating every listing. And I just get destroyed. I'm working 20 hours a day. My social life plummets, my grades go down, and I work my butt off to get to the other side just to keep this business alive and not get shut down by Amazon. And when I get to January, I think to myself, man, I can never let that happen again. I need to start hiring people right now. So I'm 20, 21. I know nothing about hiring. I post a job on Facebook. This guy in my business law class messages me. He says, "I don't know what you do. I need a job." I don't even interview him. I just say, "You're hired." Ends up being an unbelievable hire. I hit the jackpot. He's hardworking. He's smart. He's been my business partner for the past 8 years. He's a co-owner of FreeUp now. We worked together on the Amazon business for years. But there I am as this punk 20-year-old, 21-year-old thinking, man, this hiring thing is easy. You post a job on Facebook, someone shows up, you make more money, your life becomes easier. And I just proceed to make bad hire after bad hire after bad hire, quickly learning how unreliable college kids are, realizing no one took me seriously as a 20-year-old Amazon seller. That didn't even mean anything. No one knew what that was. So hiring people in person was really tough. And so I started to explore the remote hiring world based on necessity, the Upwork, the Fivers, and had some success. I have a few people who are still with me today, but I also had a lot of failure. And I just hated the process of posting a job, getting 50 people to apply, interviewing them one by one. If I hire them and 2 weeks later they don't work out, I have to start that process all over again. And I kept looking for a faster way. And when I couldn't find it, I said, you know what, I'll build it myself. And I tried to take everything I liked about the other platforms and change everything I didn't like, building the marketplace that I wish I had back when I started my Amazon business. So that's the shortest version of how I went from a broke college kid to books to baby products to eventually the FreeUp marketplace.
Wow. So, okay, first of all, the big question I have is obviously the big competitor that you're going to have is like Fiverr, right?
Right.
So how do you set yourself apart to get people to find you?
It's funny. We've spent very little on paid marketing. We've grown FreeUp from $1 million to $5 million to $9 million last year, should end somewhere over 12, but we've done it very organically. It's been a combination of going on podcasts like this. I've probably been on 300 plus podcasts. I mean, the podcasts are a great way to just get in front of thousands of entrepreneurs to network, backlinks, and SEO. It's great. So that helps us there. Content, we put out lots of content about hiring. We have our blog, we have our YouTube channel, we have our podcast, which I'd love to have you guys on. So we're constantly putting content out there. We created a referral program, which if you're listening and you don't have a referral program, you need to not only get one, but you need to have it on your site and you need to remind every single customer about it at the end of every phone call. So you get 50 cents for every hour that we bill forever to people that come from you for any time. So people, when we started FreeUp and they liked the service, they would go to conferences and start talking about us. And that eventually led us to my fourth thing, which is micro-influencers and influencers. We would go to people that had communities of our ideal clients, in our case, online entrepreneurs, and we would partner with them. We would take really good care of their community. We'd give them some credit to get started. Or free credit to the influencer to just try us out before that. They would get a kickback, so they would be happy. And then we also do joint ventures with them, different content swaps. They'd come on my podcast, vice versa, blog swaps. If they were promoting a course, we promote it to our audience. So we really grew it through marketing, but much more organic marketing than I think a lot of businesses do out there. And I think we're kind of at a point where I don't know if we've hit the limit, but I think in order to get to the next level, what works from 0 to 9 million doesn't work from 9 million to 20 million. So I think we're probably going to have to spend more on different paid and different marketing tactics, but we really grew FreeUp and we still are growing FreeUp using those four things.
Now, were you funded? Were you funded at all, or did you do this from $0 in the bank from scratch? And did you have to hire a programmer to build this whole FreeUp site, or do you have a background in that stuff?
Yeah, so I started FreeUp with $5,000. Most of that went to a developer building our minimum viable product. Our software was garbage for the first year of using it. I mean, people could log in, they could log out, freelancers could see their clients could see their freelancers, and that was pretty much it. People couldn't submit requests in the system. They would email us, call us, Skype us when they wanted someone. We'd introduce them via email, via Skype, very manual. There were no like custom introductions like we have now that come from the software. No affiliate program, no ticketing system, no billing. The billing was all outside the software. So we got it out there with the minimum viable product. And what ended up happening was people really loved the freelancers. People really loved our customer support. People really hated our software. It was like I like to think 10, but let's just say 9, 9, like 2. So it was very unbalanced. So about a year into FreeUp, we were like, all right, we need to start looking at ourselves as a software company. So we started hiring full-time developers. We hired a QA person. We started having dev meetings and plans and using Jira, which is a dev organization tool. And that was really a game changer in our business when we started to pull that software up from a 2 to 4, 5, 6. Hopefully it's approaching that 7, 8, 9 now, and really make it in sync, but also become a software company.
That's pretty cool. And what kind of, as far as like your referral program, is that something you developed in-house or do you use a certain platform?
Yeah. So one thing that I learned from my Amazon business, and I think some entrepreneurs will disagree with me, is I hate using other people's like third-party software. I always find that it does 80% of what I want. I can never get it to do that last 20. So we built our affiliate program inside our software. It's custom links. It's all tracked in there. Our affiliate program is pretty unique too. I didn't find one that actually made sense. Like, it's not like people are checking out for $20,000 and you send some of that money elsewhere. This is billing over time at an hourly rate with different percentages and all that. So a little bit difficult to use a third party anyway, but we built all that ourselves, and we really build all this stuff, our billing, all of it.
Can you attribute like a certain percentage of your growth to the referral program, or have you like tracked that? Like what level of new business comes from that versus like your organic podcast marketing and all that?
Yeah, I mean, we paid out over $250,000 last year in referral money, which is a lot of 50 cents. So, yeah, I mean, people seem to really like the program. It's what I really like about FreeUp from a marketing side is we're very diverse. Obviously, the referral program is a lot, and that's where we've gotten clients. But we also get a lot from podcasts. We also get a lot through our content, through our Facebook group, Outsourcing Masters, through micro influencers. If you look at our signups and how people hear about us, it's very all over the place.
And is that how you acquire people to be the experts that people can hire?
Yeah, very similar. I go on Freelancer podcasts. We partner with freelance influencers. There's a lot of freelancer coaches, freelancer Facebook group owners. We do content swaps with them. We have a referral program on the freelancer side that's the same thing. You make money for every hour, they bill forever. So if someone's on the platform and they love it, they'll tell all their freelance friends about it and get them on too. So it kind of goes both ways.
Now, content swapping is really interesting. And, there may be 1 or 2 of our 7 listeners that don't know much about it. Can you explain a little bit about how that works?
Yeah, I mean, we've gotten this very organized now, but at the beginning, it was very all over the place. I mean, we had a blog, we had a YouTube channel, and we would just reach out to people every quarter after we would quote unquote partner with them. We wouldn't make them sign an agreement or anything, but we would say, hey, what do you want to do? Do you want to exchange a blog post? We never want anything to be one-sided. So, hey, are you promoting anything? Can we put you in our newsletter? And it really comes down to like podcast, YouTube, newsletter, social media posts, and the blog. And so each quarter we try to mix it up and see what benefits them, what benefits us. We might be running a promotion, hey, 5% off US bookkeepers, whatever it is, and have them promote it, whatever makes sense, and vice versa. And it's just a great way to get in front of other people's communities. And it's a very good way to grow your business.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. So, so how do you really see like Fiverr as a competitor, or do you just kind of stay on track and not really worry about it?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, it's not something I worry about. I mean, Fiverr and Upwork are publicly traded companies, so there's not much I can do to compete with them on that level, even though I'm very happy with FreeUp's growth. I mean, every freelancer marketplace, every agency out there that does freelancers, lots of VA agencies, I mean, technically they're our competitors. So it's not like it keeps me up at night, but you have to be aware of what they're doing and what's going on and how you continue to make yourself different. And my mentality is, you can't compete with Upwork and Fiverr and big companies on software. You can't really compete with them on marketing. What you can compete with them on is customer service. So we spend a lot of our time focusing on how do we make our customer service so unique, so customized, so personable that they can't compete on that level. And that's really what our focus has been.
So I have a question or a couple questions here, but so I want to know, because we have a lot of people that listen to the show that are in the solopreneur field, or they might occasionally hire freelancers. And like myself, I've hired freelancers, but I've never brought on freelancers on a regular basis, on a consistent basis. Can you talk a little bit about how you help customers or clients that have never onboarded employees or and never onboarded freelancers and kind of walk us through what that process is like and how you make it simple for them?
Yeah. So first of all, we don't provide employees. We provide VAs, freelancers, and agencies. But if people have never used those, everyone's in a different place. I'm kind of in the mentality that we can get you really good people, but if you don't know what to do with those people after the fact, it doesn't do you much good. At the same time, there's plenty of clients that don't want to talk to me. They don't want to follow my system. They have their own system. They have their own process. They've been doing it for years, and that's great. Other people want to absorb some of my content. Other people are only want to follow my direction. So we have to cater to all three. We put out a lot of content in our Facebook group that I mentioned. We have a hiring packet that has sample interview questions and expectations doc to get on the same page, a one-time projects document to make sure you don't leave anything out. And we provide different videos on like our 5-step hiring process, mistakes to avoid. We put out ebooks and all that. So we're not a consulting company. We have consultants on the platform, but we don't walk into a business and say, you need to hire this person, this person, this person. You need to do it this way. This is the right way. This is the wrong way. We're there to provide people and tell you what's worked for us in the past, and it's up to the clients to apply it to their business if they want to. So that's kind of how we.
So in a sense, you provide coaching, if you will, to the people on your platform.
I mean, I would say that we don't provide coaching. We kind of take the position that we never give you like a hard, this is what you should do. It's more, this is how we do it, and you can apply it to your business if you want to. I don't really take like business consulting calls where I give people business advice or anything like that. Most of our calls are answering questions about the software and how it works. And I mean, if clients ask it or advice, we'll give it to them. But I wouldn't consider myself a business coach, and I don't train my assistants who also take calls to do coaching, if that makes sense.
No, but providing information for people that would be helpful. And for instance, the Moz blog is fantastic for SEO stuff, right? And they just provide it, as a free service to people who come to their site. But you can apply that information to what people do with Moz. So by going to your website, you can find information that will be helpful to you as a business owner and a solopreneur, right?
Yeah, I mean, we're kind of debating nothing, but technically on some level, we provide advice and what's worked for us and put out a lot of content. I just try to make it clear to clients that we're not business coaches. We don't want people to take our advice that, hey, if you listen to Nate, you will grow your business to $5 million. Like that's not something that we want. We want people to think,
Yeah. So going back, I'd like to go back a little bit in time. And did you end up finishing college, or was there a point where you were like, oh, this thing is starting to happen, I don't really need to finish?
Did you Mark Zuckerberg it?
I mentioned my parents are teachers, so not finishing college was not an option. I've got this degree frame behind me that has Dean's List every semester that I've never used. So I did finish college. I'm an entrepreneur, but I'm not a very risk-taking entrepreneur, which sounds weird. And there's always a risk in business. So don't get me wrong. I don't think FreeUp or any business is risk-free, but I do focus on low-risk, high-reward situations. And even when I was younger, I continued to get a degree knowing that a lot of businesses fail and that I wanted to have a backup plan. And when I got to graduate that last week of college, I still didn't know if I was going to go take a job. I had a few job offers or do the Amazon thing. And my parents are super supportive. They want me to be happy, and they'll definitely support me in anything I do. But I could tell that they thought the better decision was to take the stability, the health insurance, the real job. And I remember meeting with my aunt that last week, who's an entrepreneur, and she pretty much told me, like, you're young, you can take risks, that those jobs are going to be there. Like if you fail in a year, and there's no reason for you to, if you enjoy what you're doing and you're making money and you can survive on it, there's no reason for you not to. And so I turned down those job offers, became an entrepreneur, and never really looked back.
That's awesome. So now you said, you've got your other parts of the platform, like the affiliate linking. Have you thought about spinning that off into kind of a lateral business?
I have not. It's definitely something like we know is there. I don't think it's our prime focus. I think one of the things my partner and I have been good at it is just staying focused on what actually increases revenue, what actually grows the business. And I think we're very focused to see how far we can push FreeUp with the current business model, not to say that won't change and we won't see other opportunities in the future.
I wanted to go a little deeper on the vetting process again. We touched on it earlier. I know you have the basic level, your mid-level, expert level freelancers on your site that kind of break down based on what you charge and where they're located and their level of competency. Now, like with a site like Fiverr, I know that, the review system has its pros, but it also has its cons. And I think one of the big cons with any review system is that the review happens with delivery, not after implementation. So especially with like marketing solutions, a lot of times, like, you haven't tested it against an actual campaign, those kind of things. Do you have any sort of means of tracking like actual results from your freelancers? Do you find that important, or do you just kind of follow the same kind of trajectory that Fiverr does, which is fine? But I'm just curious if you've considered that or found any sort of solution to that.
It's funny. I really agree with you. I mean, one of the reasons we haven't had reviews on our platform since we started is I think reviews are very misleading. I can't tell you how many times I've hired a 5-star person and not gotten a 5-star experience. I think there's lots of ways that they're misleading. With that said, I'm a big believer of listening to your clients, listening to your customers. And in our case, we kind of have two sets. We got the clients, we got the freelancers, and people want reviews for whatever reason. So we are launching it. It will be a little bit different than the 5-star reviews. I can't go too much into it because we're still figuring out exactly how we want it to be. But I mean, for us, we check in with our clients. We've got certain times where I think it's a week after every hire, we check in with them. And clients also know that if they have even the smallest issue, we're a marketplace with the top 1%. If someone misses a meeting, misses a due date, doesn't communicate, like they're probably quicker to report it than they would on another platform. So we hear about that stuff. We track that stuff. We're very quick to suspend or remove freelancers from our platform if they're not adhering to our terms of use and our best practices. And that's really how we've done it so far. And I think the feedback will add another layer, but we never want it to just be 100% based on feedback, like you said.
Do you find that like when you started versus where you are now, did you find that there was like a top seller early on, or is there continue to be like a certain type of service that sells the best on this platform versus other services? I'm just curious, as you've kind of grown the business, if it started one way and evolved, or how that goes.
Yeah, and just as a follow-up to that, like what trends do you see as people, start to hire? Like what do you see people hiring more for?
Yeah, great question. So when we started, we were really a marketplace for Amazon sellers. I was a big Amazon seller. I had a Rolodex of Amazon freelancers. It was a pretty easy way to start. I knew a lot of people in the Amazon community. From there, we grew to e-commerce. We got into the marketing space. And the thing about the marketing space is it kind of trickles into other things like real estate, software, and all that. So we're very diverse now. I mean, there's always going to be things that people just hire a lot, right? Hiring VAs is very popular. We get a lot of VA requests, but we also get a lot of writing requests and bookkeepers and stuff like that. So it is very diverse. It's one of the things that I really like about FreeUp. There's definitely trends. I mean, when we started, Facebook ads and Amazon ads were very new, and that became like a very big thing, where I feel like now lots of people are offering those services, where before we were probably one of a few. One of the trends I'm seeing is people are much more focused now on building a brand. I don't know if it's Gary Vee. I do know it has something to do with Amazon. For Amazon sellers, e-commerce sellers, which is a lot of people that we serve, you get crushed at some point if you're not building a brand. It's impossible to stand out. Amazon will crush you. You need a following. You need your own client base. You need a newsletter. You need social media. You need graphics and all that. So I think building a brand, which has a lot of subparts like social media people and graphics and videos and podcast production and all of that, has become bigger and bigger, which is good for us and I think good for a lot of people. So that's kind of the trend that we're seeing.
Interesting. So is there anything that you've started to see that is in the same way that like Facebook ads were kind of new? Any new things that you're kind of surprised about that might be an up and coming trend?
New things. I wouldn't say there's any like crazy new requests where just like all of a sudden got 50 in one day that I've just never seen before. I think more people are focused on stuff like automation and development. I think that I think if you go back even like 5 years, like that wasn't a focus of people. I know it wasn't my focus. I kind of shared my own story, how I didn't look at myself as a software company. I think a lot of people are realizing that if you want to compete with your competitors, you got to do it with tools. And with tools, you got two options. You use a third party and pay a monthly fee, or you build it yourself and it's a little bit more customized. So we've seen more requests like that, but there's not something else that stands out that's just a complete game changer. Like Bitcoin a little bit, but I think that people don't really use freelancers there. We probably got more Bitcoin requests in the past year than the previous 3 years combined, but nothing crazy, and that's still not like a big part of our business.
Do you accept cryptocurrency or Bitcoin as a payment on the site, or?
We do not.
Okay, just curious because you brought it up.
Has that been something that you've thought about getting into?
It's something we talk about lots of things. It's not something we're seriously considering. It comes down to the client. If we had 100 clients coming to us saying we need Bitcoin or we're not using FreeUp, that's different. But we accept bank account, we accept credit card. We're not really doing any kind of like sketchy, like off the government's radar service. Not that all Bitcoin is for that, but there's no like necessity or secrecy into this stuff. And most people are pretty cool with like paying with a credit card or paying with an ACH for freelancer marketing, e-commerce services. It's kind of like the industry standard opposed to other things.
Now, one of the things I think is really interesting is that right on the website, you have a little link that says, chat with FreeUp's founders. Do you often talk to prospective clients directly? Is that something that you actually take time to do often?
Yeah. So there's a certain part of my calendar is booked off. People can book a meeting with me. I also have my VAs that work right underneath me. They're there. You can book a meeting with my VAs. You can ask them questions about being a VA, what it's like working with me and all that stuff. It's something that people have told me I've been crazy to do since we started FreeUp, because how many CEOs have their calendar on the website? But what ends up happening is people don't come to me for every little thing. People will book a call. Again, I'm not consulting with them on their business. I'll answer standard FreeUp questions, build a relationship, get to know people. These 30-minute calls people can book usually end up being 5 to 10 minutes. If people want to talk longer, that's fine. And it's also not my entire day. It's certain parts of the day. And so I've done that. Adding my assistants there. A lot of people, if they have small questions or different things, are more than happy to talk to my VAs. And it's never really been an issue. And most of the time, like clients will have my cell phone number and my phone number. I'm not spending hours and hours and hours fixing issues because the freelancers do an amazing job on the platform. And if there is an issue, we just resolve it quickly. And it's usually not that big of a deal. And we just want both sides to be happy.
Yeah, that's cool. Cause it's not like I can get on the phone and yell at Jeff Bezos, but I would love to. I mean, that would be fantastic. Not that I'm encouraging anybody to yell at you because you sound awesome. But because this, I'm sure you met some really interesting people along the way. What's kind of one of the more interesting moments that you've had meeting people and interacting with people with this platform?
Oh man, I mean, there's lots of different influencers that I just had the privilege to meet in the e-commerce space, like Ben Cummings, Scott Volker is one of the biggest Amazon podcasts, Jim Bunch, who works with Billie Jean. He's been a client of ours forever, and he promotes FreeUp pretty hard. I mean, there's lots of different names. Alex Sharfin's a big one in the marketing community. I've joked with him that I spent like a year and a half trying to get him to try FreeUp, and now he loves FreeUp and promotes it to his community. So, I mean, those are awesome. Yeah, I don't know if that answers your question, but we work with a lot of different influencers, different spaces, people that are much more successful entrepreneurs than I am, that I learn a lot from, and that do just a great job of taking really good care of their community, which is something that I value a lot. And I always try to align myself with those type of people.
So we talk a lot about, I was going to say, we talk a lot about building your tribe here and how that's one of the most important things. One of the worst things that any marketing person hears is when a client says, when they're asked like, who's your product for? And they go, well, it's for everybody. Well, it's definitely not, right? So, it seems like you spend a lot of time kind of cultivating your tribe, if you will. Do you run any traditional ads? Do you do anything like Google wise or Facebook wise?
We spend $1,000 a month on ads, mostly towards retargeting, mostly towards freelancers. Outside of that, we don't really do anything.
Is that on Google?
Google and Facebook.
Okay.
Total.
Okay. What's your thought on Facebook these days? Is it still effective as a advertising space?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, it depends on your business, and there's lots of different factors there, but absolutely.
Let me ask you, because I want to go a little deeper on the way you grew the company, because you're basically done like a grassroots model. You've kind of hit the ground running. You're having private conversations with people. So for people that are starting their own business, and we've hit on a lot of these strategies already. You talked about going on podcasts organically. You talked about producing content and partnering with micro-influencers, things like that. What other advice would you give to like budding entrepreneurs out there that are getting started as ways to build awareness and to kind of attract their first few clients? Like what do you see as like, what have you learned along the way that's been like the biggest success, like talent or skill that you've acquired over time?
Yeah. So one of the things that I've done that I strongly encourage people to do, no matter how big and how small you are, first thing I do every morning, I reach out to 3 people on Facebook, 3 people on Instagram, just to network, just to set up networking calls, not looking to sell them, learn about their business, see if I can add any value. I've built a lot of great relationships. Yes, I've gotten clients and influencers. Sometimes I can only help them or vice versa, or we run into each other in the future. And I mean, if you're networking, let's say out of those 6, 2 of them respond, you're networking with 2 new people every single day over the course of 3 years. That's a lot of people. That's a lot of communities you're getting into, and it's free. So I strongly recommend that people do that.
I love that. Now, what does your outreach look like? Are you personalizing every message? Are you templating them? Like, how does that outreach look like?
I have different templates. I use an app called Word Text, I think it's called, on my phone. And it's all templated. It's not salesy. It's not like the LinkedIn stuff. It's just, hey, would love to connect. Would love to connect. I own FreeUp. And what are people going to respond to that? Hey, yeah, would love to connect. What are you thinking? And hey, I'd love to set up a networking call if you're open to it. Or tell me more about FreeUp, which I have a canned response for. Or hey, leave me alone. Don't ever contact me again, which is chill too. So, I mean, it's not aggressive. It's just, hey, would love to set up a network call if you're open to it.
I mean, I love that. I mean, because again, you're like, I see you as kind of grassroots, and I do think that the best way to build a business is to build natural connections over time, to network and leverage social media platforms, especially because even with Facebook and Instagram, yeah, the organic reach is dying, but you could still private message people, and you could still leverage the free communities for your business, but it looks a little bit different than it used to because the content doesn't naturally spread out as for free anyway.
Yeah, exactly.
So what, it sounds like you're like constantly like in the mix. What do you do for yourself to like detach and give yourself you time? Like because I mean, if you're on all the time, to keep from getting burnout, what do you do?
Yeah, I don't think I'm on all the time. I mean, I usually end my day like right after this around 4:00. I go to the gym for an hour intense workout. I've got 2 dogs. I work from home, so I get to hang out with them. There's a dog park right outside. I mean, I just got back from 4 trips. I was in 2 bachelor parties, one in New Orleans, one in Montreal. Then I had 2 weddings in Boston and New York. And before that, I was in Croatia for a baby bathwater, which is an awesome event for entrepreneurs. And it's more of a fun event than like a hardcore business event. So for me, it's travel, it's hanging out with my fiance, hanging out with my dogs. Enjoying life. I'm a big fan of working out and being able to get away from your business. I mean, I have VAs that cover my Skype, email, live chat 24/7. So, I mean, they know how to handle 99% of stuff. If it needs to be escalated to me, it does, but it's not like my phone's blowing up on Friday and Saturday nights consistently. If it does, that I'm doing something wrong.
Did you hire them on your VAs? Did you hire them on FreeUp?
I only hire people from FreeUp. So I have 30 VAs that handle lots of different stuff, all from FreeUp. My graphic designers, my video editors, podcast editors, writers for our blog, the people that run our ads and our different social media channels. I only hire them on our platform, and they're available to other clients too. If we book them up full time, we just got to them first. If they're like a graphic designer, we use them here and there. Other clients can say, "Hey Nate, can you send me the graphic designer I use?" And if they're available, you're more than happy to use them.
Well, I mean, but the thing that's cool about what you're doing is that you're really in the mix of it. I mean, it's like you're not like, doing these high level meetings where you just kind of get the summaries. It sounds like you're really interacting with everybody, who are using the platform and who are working with the platform.
Yeah, I mean, I'm a big fan of building like a brand that with like a face behind it. I think there's pros and cons. I'm sure that at some level it might not scale. At some point, I'm not going to be able to take phone calls or whatever. Hopefully, we get to that level. Not all businesses do, but I'm kind of curious too how far we can push this thing. I mean, it's not a lifestyle business because I work very hard in it. But at the same time, it kind of is. I mean, I work remote. I have a team of people that can cover for me when I'm on vacation, whenever I want. I can travel whenever I want. We're doing pretty well. And I have a business partner in Colorado. He's kind of in the same boat. We really enjoy working together, and it's just fun. We really enjoy it.
Yeah, I feel the same way. I mean, just the fact that I work remotely makes it a lifestyle business, even if I work really hard.
Exactly.
Now, I did want to get into one thing, though, because you've taken the business from 0 to 7 figures, and you said you were at 9 million, I think. So you're about to hit 8 figures, or are you already at 8 figures?
This year we'll finish around 12. I think we've hit 8 12.
So you're hitting 8 figures this year. So now that you're getting into that territory of business growth, are you starting to attract like new attention to the brand? Are you getting outreach from like, you know, these conferences or speaker communities that want to bring you on stage? Or how is that evolving? Like, how have you seen your personal brand grow, and like what new opportunities are coming from the fact that you've now kind of accomplished this?
Oh man, it's so funny you asked that. So 2 years ago, I was like, all right, personal goal, like become a speaker, like speak at all these conferences. So I did that for a little while and I got really burnt out. I was like, this sucks. I can't have like a life and be traveling like 2 times every month, 3 times every month, like going to all these conferences. So still do it. I kind of do it here and there. I don't want to overcommit on it. There's been stuff like I've been featured in like Entrepreneur Magazine or Entrepreneur.com and stuff like that. And yeah, I mean, I growing my brand is very much in line with FreeUp, and I'm very honored that people will have me and kind of look at me that way. But I mean, it's more about FreeUp than it is about me. And that's kind of how I've always looked at it. And again, trying to stay focused, like our goal is to grow the FreeUp marketplace to get as many users as possible. It's not to get paid $10,000 to speak. That's a very short-term money opposed to a long-term vision, you know?
So what if you could go back to your younger self when you were first starting, what would be some of the advice that you would give yourself to avoid some of the headaches you ran into building this business?
Look at ourselves as a software company first. Definitely would have done. I can't tell you how much time I wasted just dealing with terrible software that just took up more and more and more of my time. Stuff that I would do differently. Trying to think. Man, you might have stumped me. I mean, there's so much like that you just tweak over time. There's definitely not, it definitely hasn't just been straight up. We've had a good amount of success. I think working with different people and finding the right VAs to do different things. I'm probably pretty good at hiring, above average. I would hope so. But at the same time, there's always learning lessons of who's the best fit for what, or how do we grow our social media. I probably would have focused more on our Facebook group more earlier than I do now. I think Facebook group is a great way to grow a community that I kind of overlooked and was kind of half-assing it for a while. I don't know if I can swear. But
you can, you're good.
But yeah, I mean, stuff like that, like there's always different marketing stuff, or, hey, I wish I had said this to like this influencer and not turn them off, and stuff like that. But there hasn't been like an, oh my God, I messed up. I mean, if you want to go to, oh my God, messed up, if I take you back to my Amazon business, I put myself in a situation around year 2 where I hired one person to do everything. I spent 6 months training this person to do all aspects of my business. It was awesome. I slept better at night. It was my first time. I didn't have to like answer emails and wake up every day at a certain time and like do certain things. And I go on my first vacation and he quits on me day 1 of my vacation. And it set my business back like 3 months. And I learned a very valuable lesson about diversifying. So there's definitely mistakes along the way, things that have really hurt us. But with FreeUp, we've been fortunate that we've kind of learned from those quickly and made better decisions.
Do you still have a presence on Amazon as a seller? Are you still diversifying that way, or have you now just put all of your energy into FreeUp 100%?
All energy into FreeUp. I can tell you what happened. I mean, with Amazon, you got to remember, 1, I got in at a very good time before everyone else, but eventually everyone else came on. 2nd, I was never selling my own products. I didn't have any patents or trademarks. I was always selling other people's products, and I was selling baby products. I wasn't passionate about selling baby products then, still not passionate about selling baby products now. And so I was growing the Amazon business. We sold over $25 million total. Most we did in a year was about $5 million. So we get over $5 million, more courses and gurus and sellers come in. We dip down to like $2 to $3 million. Amazon's changing their algorithm. We're still making money, but we're not growing our brand. We're not really building anything long-term. We're just kind of going in circles, trying to fight off competition, trying to adjust to Amazon's algorithm and find every little Amazon hack. And so I started FreeUp on the side. FreeUp ended up surpassing my Amazon sales within like a year and a half. And it was something where it was kind of a no-brainer at that point. We're like, all right, we can keep fighting with Amazon and we really like hate doing this every single day, or we can focus on something we're passionate about that's growing my brand, growing the FreeUp brand. And that's the decision Connor and I made.
Let me ask you about your email marketing strategy. Do you I mean, with modern day marketing, email has changed. I think it's still an important part of business. But it's different than it used to be, especially with the noise on email, just kind of like the noise that got on Amazon. But can you tell me a little bit about like how important email is to your business and what that looks like with how you're using it for marketing?
Yeah, good question. My business partner, honestly, is a way better writer than me. He handles all of our email marketing. We create canned responses for everything. We run a weekly newsletter that we've been doing since day one, where we'll throw out different deals like, hey, 5% off a VA if you hire them today. So if people join the FreeUp newsletter, that's a good way to just save money on skills that you might need. And that's been good. I think getting our story out and also creating a newsletter that's providing a lot of content and free value has been good too. But it's also, I'm kind of like speaking on behalf of my business partner because I don't write any of that stuff.
Got it. Yeah. Interesting. So there's probably one of our 7 listeners who wants to start their own software as a service or platform. What would be the first steps to kind of make that happen, would you say?
Get the minimum viable product out there. You never know when you're going to end up selling like baby products or running a freelancer marketplace software platform. Just start trying different things and get that minimum viable product out there. Talk to your customers, talk to your clients, figure out what they like, what they don't like. It might be different than what you have in your head, and adjust accordingly. And you never know what path that's going to lead you down.
I like that advice because we had Ryan Levesque on the show, and he told us that if you're going to start a SaaS company, you take $1 million in cash and light it on fire, and then you get started. So I like this minimal viable product thing.
That's never been my style.
do you recommend using like because you said don't use other people. You don't like using other people's platforms. But would you recommend for the minimum viable product at least to look into other solutions that might be available first, or just building it from scratch if you can?
I've done it building from scratch. Again, there's no right or wrong, and there's a lot of really high-level entrepreneurs that are way more successful than me that have different advice than I do. So there's no right or wrong. I personally like to build it myself, and there's also, it's not like black or white. I still use like Zapier, for example. Like I'm not building my own Zapier. So there are third-party tools that I use. It's just not like the core of my business, if that makes sense.
Yeah. Yeah, that's cool, man. Well, this has been really amazing, and I appreciate it. I definitely will check out the FreeUp to see, because there's some people that I definitely need, and I'm going to check out the platform. It sounds like you've got some magical ingredient here, and I'm excited to see how you grow from here. So any big plans? Like, what's the big vision? You're going to build a space company, get some rockets on the moon, go to Mars?
Right now, my focus is growing FreeUp and seeing how far we can push this thing. And that's really my plan. I've never been a long-term thinker. I think things change. Who knows what business and technology is going to look like in 10 years. For me, it's almost like not worth thinking about. Again, a lot of entrepreneurs might disagree with me, but for me, I'm very focused on what we're doing now.
Nice. Well, all right. So now the lightning round, marketing geeks, we're geeky about all sorts of things, not necessarily marketing. So what are you geeky about? TV show, movie, book,
hobby,
motorcycles, like hobby? What are you geeky about most right now?
Geeky about most right now. In terms of, so I'm not
anything.
Yeah, no, I got you. So I'm not a huge video gamer, but I feel like when I do, I kind of like go into my own zone. It's just like a great way to get away from everything. So I recently paid $8 at GameStop for Fallout 4. I don't know if you guys have ever played it. So I've been playing that like nonstop for the past month. I can't get enough of it. So that's what I'm geeking out on right now.
Yeah. I call video games the great time machine, because I sit in front of one and next thing I know, I'm 5 hours in the future.
Right.
Before I even know it. Justin, what are you geeky about right now?
Well, I guess I'm geeky about the new Terminator movie. I'm excited, even though like nobody else is. It's just me. It's you.
You're the guy.
Yeah, I'm anxious to see this thing, to see if they can actually do anything with it. I have high doubts, but it's we're a week or two out, and I'm a big Terminator fan. I think they might be able to pull something interesting out with some weird time travel timelines, some twists, whatnot. I don't know. It's just like, that's what I'm geeky about this week. You got it.
Okay. Marvel just announced they firmed up the Phase 5 of the Marvel Cinematic Universe. I'm excited about it. I'm also
Phase 5.
Phase 4. Sorry.
Okay.
So that is, but Martin Scorsese and Francis Ford Coppola, they had some very serious words about that it's not true cinema. But I disagree, because, cinema can be an art film, but it also could be something where you just check your brain at the door and have fun with it. So I certainly have. Do you watch the Marvel movies at all?
I do, yes.
Yeah. What do you think? Art or not?
Oh my God, the art question. I don't know. I have no idea. I personally enjoy them. I'm not some crazy fan who knows like every single character and their exact storyline and all that, but I definitely, when they come out, I watch them.
I did start reading. I got the digital comic of the Eternals, so I started reading that, and I have to tell you, the dialogue is hopeless. I hope that they fix that.
I don't even know those characters because they were so obscure. I'd never heard of them. Now, you know what did come out yesterday was the new Star Wars trailer. We got the final Star Wars trailer for the Skywalker films, and I'll probably see it, but I could really not that excited.
Yeah, I'm not excited.
I'm not a Star Wars guy. I don't know why. I feel like Star Wars is right up my alley, and I just never got into it. I've tried.
I think you were right. You were right though, because now people are abandoning Star Wars, and you were ahead of the curve.
Yeah, there's like 13, 14 movies now, and only really 2 of them are good. One of them kind of good.
They both came out in the 70s and 80s.
Yeah. So here I'm pouring one out for Star Wars. That's
Okay. So
moving on.
So Nathan here, can you tell us again so freeup.com? It's FreeUp with 3 E's, right? So we have FreeeUp.com. Is that right?
FreeUp with 3 E's. You can join my Facebook group, Outsourcing Masters. You can book a call with me or my team right at the top of the site. Mention this podcast, get a $25 credit to try us out. And you can follow me on any social media channel.
So they just do a chat or something, or send you an email and just say they listened to it on Marketing Geeks and you'll get a $25 credit?
Yeah, right? I'm going to send you an email with how to get your affiliate link and even a FreeUp page if you want it. And if not, then they can just type in Marketing Geeks and we'll apply it.
Yeah, we'll set that up and we'll put that in the show notes then. Perfect.
Yeah, we'll keep an eye open for you. We really appreciate you coming on, man, taking your time. This was fantastic. And, please check it out. And this is an inspiring story because it can be done. It can be done. And with that...
No. Wait.
Oh, ladies and gentlemen, our podcast producer, Iris Sturgeon.
Thank you very much. What a nice applause. Before you end the show, I want to tell you that our next guest is Chase Hughes, and he is specialized in applied behavior research. And as with my background in human resources, I am so looking forward to this interview and see what we can learn from Chase. And the other thing I want to tell our audience is that we are fully booked till May 2020, and we have a guest list. We are very honored with that. We try to book as much as we can, and we want to have the big variety in subjects. So we reach out to everybody who is connecting to us and wants to be in the show. So you will always get a reply from us. We will ask you kindly to give us some more information, and we just continue booking for 2020. So get great responses, and thank you all so far. And we're looking forward to the next episode with Chase Hughes.
And if people want to get a hold of you, Iris, to ask questions about Marketing Geeks, since I'm pretty irresponsible when it comes to this thing,
just do info@marketinggeeks.podcast.com, and you can find us all on LinkedIn, and we have a Facebook page. You can connect to us on Facebook and send us a message there. And even on Instagram. So we are, you cannot ignore us anymore. We are there. So love to hear from you. Thank you so much.
Oh, all right. Lovely wife, Iris.
You cannot ignore us anymore, Andres. You cannot ignore us.
I'm going to get a t-shirt. I'm going to get a t-shirt that says that.
That's good.
And with that, another fine episode of the Marketing Geeks comes to a close.
We are booked into, what should it, May or June of 2020? Man, we are a popular show, aren't we?
Yes. People want to be on the show. I can't believe it. I don't want to even be on the show, but I show up for. I have to now. I'm committed. So if you're ever worried that like one of these days the Marketing Geeks is just not going to be here, we're here for you now and for always.
Well, and if we get too overbooked, we can always hire a freelancer. And what better place to get a freelancer than freeup.com with 3 E's, FREEEUP.com with Nathan Hirsch.
Yeah, and please reach out to us. We're going to be doing some special things in the coming future, aren't we?
How special?
Very special.
Oh, very special.
That's all I can say about it. Yeah.
Well, I'm excited. I'm looking forward to special things. So
that's what you should be. I'm glad I'm able to lead people into that. It's bedtime here in the Netherlands. So with that,
stay classy.